Have you ever heard of a murder case so haunting that shook an entire community to its core? Well, today, we're diving deep into one such story, the chilling murder of Dakota Collins. This case is a web of mystery, justice, and resilience. Stay tuned as we uncover the shocking details, legal twists, and the relentless pursuit of truth. But first, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up to support our quest for justice. Are you ready to unravel the haunting tale of Dakota Collins? It was December 2019 and the paramedic responded to a 911 from a father whose 10-year-old kid, Dakota Collins, was unresponsive. He was lying unconscious on the living room floor. Upon reaching his house and doing everything they could, the paramedics failed to help the kid. The father, McLean, did not show any kind of sadness or any other kind of reaction to his son's death. He was waiting outside his house with the police officers and complaining about his unresponsive son. To know about this case, you should know about Dakota Collins' family. He was born on 18th December 2008 to McLean and Robin Collins. The couple were separated, and she had custody of Dakota. Robin eventually loses custody of Dakota. The custody falls into the hands of McLean and his girlfriend, 28-year-old Amanda Hines. In that house, 25-year-old Jennifer Ebert, Hins's sister, moves in. Present day, McLean is in the interrogation room and a detective has read his rights.
And here he come rolling down the stairs again, ba-doom, ba-doom. So I tell him go back upstairs. A little while later, I go up there, I see a stick in his ass, like a chair leg.
In the interrogation, McLean is seen rambling about Dakota being a difficult child. He goes on to state that Dakota had harmed himself on several occasions and eaten his feces. He states that he didn't get any sleep for 3 days due to Dakota's destructive behavior and pissing everywhere. Dakota is said to have rolled downstairs and banged his head against a wall. But not once McLean took him to a hospital to check him out. He also told the police that the reason he homeschooled Dakota was because had destroyed his school supplies. Anyone who has raised a child dealt with these problems, right? Or was this an early sign of neglected child abuse?
What's his birthday?
The 28th. What's today?
Okay.
That was correct. 25th? Is today the 25th?
No,
What is it?
the 13th.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that either.
McLean told the police that Dakota chose to put a broken long wooden leg in his butt. Even the shortened account of what happened that McLean is recounting is horrifying, but he still talks about it like any other humorous incident. Even in his interrogation, he denied having sexually harassed his son, Dakota, because he is not gay or that is homophobic. He never thought of the reason that he is his father and therefore immoral to do such things. Even on the day of Dakota's death, he states that he had to fight to keep the wooden leg out of Dakota, intentionally painting Dakota as a problematic child and McLean as an innocent father. McLean declared that the reason Dakota did not go to school was that he used to destroy all his school supplies and he was forced to homeschool him. Dakota was 9 when he was removed from school, and it fell on McLean to homeschool him.
We just never took the time to take him down, you know what I mean? But we got pit bulls there, and we ain't separated, made it be blood all over everywhere. You know what I mean? So that's what the lops is for. Like, he would come down, I would invite him to watch TV. He's my son, he was handsome, he looked just like me.
McLean, through this interrogation, has painted his own dead child as this monstrous trouble kid that has no good bone in his body, always stirring up trouble, pissing everywhere. Even though they didn't have insurance, he is said to have taken Dakota to a therapist, but Dakota had made it impossible every session.
He would have turned 11 3 days from now. And like I said, ma'am, I am shocked right now at this point that he died. Never seen it coming.
The detective asked about the morning of the death of Dakota. McLean was laid back and told it was like any other morning, undoubtedly mentioning the trouble Dakota was making. It was usual for him. McLean states that Dakota had, intentionally, put out a wooden leg up his butthole and was rolling around. He had seen blood coming out and it was swollen. But he never thought of taking him to a hospital. He just pulled it right out. He tells the story in a lighthearted way. Before the interrogation, detectives had found several wounds on Dakota that might indicate abuse. When asked if McLean had found any wounds on Dakota, he denied seeing any. It alerted the detectives to dig more out of him.
Yeah, I mean, get you out, you see him 1 minute, next minute you see him got a belly way out here. You like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So what I do immediately, I try to get him some water to flush it out. And
So we're back to where he's calling for help, and he's used his bed to push himself up.
The detectives again asked to get a clear picture of the day of Takota's death. McLean proceeds to say the same thing. He told them he had made Takota drink 6 to 7 cups of water in order to make sure he hadn't eaten anything he shouldn't have and to throw up. He reiterates that Takota is a troubled child, so much so that the officer has to stop him from going off the topic. He again appeared to be a concerned father after he told them he had done CPR on Takota after he called the police. He was trying to make himself good with the minimum amount of effort that he put into to save his own flesh and blood. The police had analyzed some of the evidence and they presented him with them. It was to make him know that they know things as well. Takota had no clothes on in the winter season, and McLean was trying to put some clothes on him before the police arrived, and it concerned the police. Another thing he is adamant about is the part of Amanda and Jennifer's part in this case. From the start, he made it clear that they had no part in this case. Even during Takota's death, he is vague about the presence of Amanda and Jennifer's whereabouts.
That view that you keep
it works sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
It's a 24-hour job, though.
Right.
So
But like
why
I
are you
said,
working in 24 hours?
sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. I do the best I can. I can't keep functioning for 24 hours on a regular.
So, and you said you don't ever lock those doors.
The officer asked him about Takota's room. It was the bigger room, but now the smaller portion belonged to him. It was the modified attic room. It was where Takota had the worst days of his life as well as his last. The locks and door were described for protection but not for punishment, as stated by McLean. When he was asked about the clothes on Takota at the time of his death, he told them that Takota, who was now not breathing, tore them up and destroyed them. He again goes on ranting about his past behavior. He even blames social services for the fact that he can't take him to the hospital. He feared they would take Takota away from him. McLean is made to recall the wooden chair leg that was stuck in his son. He demonstrated the whole incident. It also proceeds to list various incidents where Takota had displayed similar behavior. He resonated with this as Takota was gay. By now, McLean addresses the fact that his child is dead, but he had no part in it. The police question again on the loose end that was not adding up. The detective asks for evidence from McLean for Takota's behavior, and he is rattled by them. It shows that with all the things he said, the police will not accept anything without evidence.
Recently, last couple weeks.
It's been a good while. Yeah, because I tried to check in on it like a long time ago.
So when did
And I first realized that's what he was doing, but he never did it. He was at one point, like, he was just spread it around. He would never.
Several times, the detective questioned McLean about the fact he presented the name of the person he discussed Takota's issues with. The detectives created an intense atmosphere where McLean felt he was being challenged.
So, like, he didn't want to come off the thing that was in his butt. Like, he wanted to fight for it. I'm like, I ripped it out and he was still, you know what I mean, aggressive. I'm like, you need to lay down, settle down. He didn't want to lay down. I just tried to get him to calm down for a second.
So what did you do to make him calm down?
McLean felt he was being cornered, and he shifted from blaming Takota for every injury to claiming he didn't know what killed him. To him, proving his innocence is more important than finding the reason for his son's death. Now the detectives go full on about the fact that his story does not match up with the things they found on Takota's body. The loopholes in his story are an indication he was making up lies. He mentioned many details that he failed to mention before due to the fear that they would get noticed in the autopsy. As a failed attempt, he broke down and stated he was only 30. In the heartbreaking and tragic case of Takota Collins, we've delved into the harrowing details of a young boy's life filled with unimaginable suffering. Takota's story serves as a stark reminder of the failures within our child protection system and the dire consequences of neglect and abuse. Although we cannot reverse the past, Takota's tale can serve as an inspiration for change. We must all work together to promote better collaboration and communication across agencies, stronger child protective services, and more knowledge of the warning signs of abuse and neglect. The tale of Takota Collins emphasizes the value of paying attention to children's concerns. It underlines the need to file complaints of suspected abuse.